Did anybody see Donald Trump at the place? Where was he at? He was at a cathedral church here in Washington, D.C. Anybody see that? And the pastor started talking to him. Talk about awkward. Have you ever seen it? Allow me to introduce myself.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage.
I wonder if anybody noticed how uncomfortable Donald Trump looks here. Yeah, Donald Trump looked a little uncomfortable here with this conversation. Yeah, he doesn't seem happy here. In fact, nobody seems to be liking what's happening here. Seems like maybe he got ambushed. You know what I'm saying? He got ambushed by the lady up there. Not exactly feeling this conversation.
Wash the dishes after we eat in.
Look at J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is like, this is some cut. Here it goes. That's, folks, hold on a second.
Night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation.
Hold on, man. I know there's people out there that say that Donald Trump is full of shit, that he's not really serious about the deportations or the repatriations. They say it's all just a talking point. Hell, I was in a Twitter space. People were saying that I was, in an X space. That this is just white nationalist talking points. I disagree with them, and I disagree again. I just disagree. Does that look like a white nationalist talking point? Look at his face. He looks like somebody who needs some fleet. Like he's got a stomach ache. His tummy hurt. And he can't go boom boom. Look at his face.
In hospitals, they may not be citizens.
That is not somebody who doesn't give a shit. You may say, Tim, it's wrong. You shouldn't be this way. But don't say he doesn't care, because that's a face of being upset. That you're hearing somebody tell you the opposite of what you think should happen. Here goes the thing. People voted for him because of that. Not everybody. Some people voted for him in spite of it. Let's be very clear. Some people voted for Trump in spite of that. But some people voted for that very reason. You see that face? That face is a face of someone giving a shit. You know what I didn't see Kamala do a whole lot of? Care. Yeah, she didn't seem to care about anything. Definitely not the things that she ran on in 2020, 2019. She didn't care about that at all. Left that behind like a broke dude, a broke ninja with no car. Yeah, left it around. When a better offer comes through. Yeah, when someone tall, dark, and handsome comes through the town, you stuck with a loser. Yes, she left those policies right on behind. So what I'm saying is a lot of criticism about Trump and his policies, and I get it. And look, you should criticize. Let's be clear, man. You should criticize Donald Trump. Do it. That's what presidents are for. But make no mistake about it. He has a mandate for a reason. It's because the other side sucks worse. You just live in a bubble. I think she's almost done, but I gotta watch this face one more time before we move on.
Work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here.
Man, I had a hard time getting through this, man, without thinking, where's the speech for all the black parents that get separated from their kids due to mass incarceration? They pray for who they want to pray for, don't they? They look for mercy for who they look for mercy for. What about all the people in jail for nonviolent offenses away from their kids? You do know every American citizen in jail, if they have kids, what are they? Nah, go ahead. What are they? Since I'm such a bad guy talking about repatriation of people that are here undocumented or illegally, what are all the people who are in jail right now who have kids? What are they? Separated from their children is what that is. Some of you grew up separated from your parents because of the system. She ain't praying for your ass. No violins will be played. Here goes the world's smallest violin for your broken childhood, your broken family. Listen real close. You hear it say, so what? You know what they say when we talk about our lives? You got a victim mentality. You got a victim mentality. Jesus Christ. Pull yourself up. There was a guy who had the same thing. He made it. Why can't everyone else do what that one person did who's 7 feet tall and has a 6-foot vertical and run the 40 and 30, I don't know. 6'3" or whatever. So yeah, I had a problem with listening to this and keeping my food down because I know how they treat us when we go through the same shit. When we go through similar trials. And when I say this, guys, I'm not just talking about black folks. I'm primarily talking about black folks because that's what I do. You can't do this job. To all my white people that still watch me, I want you to understand something. You ain't going to hear this anywhere else, so let me tell you something. You can't do this job effectively for black people unless you do this job for black people. I know that seems redundant, but it's not. Some people do this job to usher people into the Democratic Party. That would be your Rollins, your Native Pods, your Joy Reids. That's why they do the job. That is the mission. But they're not doing it for black people. They're talking. Sometimes they're talking to black people. Michael Steele, Simone Sanders. They're talking to black people, but they're not doing it for black people. So if you want to do this job for black people, you have to do it for black people. You know, see how rare it is to hear that? You know how rare that is? And you can't do it effectively unless you focus it. America has no problem splitting up our families. America's been splitting up black families since 1619. And here's the violin playing. We just had a president in office that all the Democrats voted for, who made it his mission to make more of us go to jail. And he succeeded. And people act like they're going to erect a statue to the guy because he got old. Now he's a saint because he got old, got forced out of job, reluctantly quit, then screwed his party by putting in somebody who knew couldn't win. And now they want to erect a statue after him because he's a hero. What they do, they say that the conquerors get to rewrite history. What's the saying? Someone knows it. There's something that Dave Chappelle says that fits this moment perfectly. He says, some things you shouldn't be able to say out loud. At least not in front of the blacks. You know what that is? Every statement about migrants. Every statement y'all make crying about the migrant situation, about their troubles, their pains, I'm always thinking about what? I'm thinking how those same cries, those same problems are in the black community every day. And when we talk about them, we're victims. We're playing victim. And that's the problem. This look on Trump's face, maybe he is all the bad things people say. Because this is exactly the face people make when we talk about black people. Get it now, immigrants who come to this country and treat black people like we are garbage. Right now, people dealing with the Fat Joe thing. Fat Joe treated black Americans like, oh, we using the N-word like he invented it, like he a black American, all types of shit. But this face on Trump, that rolling of the eyes, the glossing over, that's the exact same face we get. It's the one Pat David gave me. And I say, hey, right there, buddy, with your fancy talking about everybody can pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Almost done. Let's get to the end of this.
Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Trump's sitting there like, can I go now? Where's my chief of staff? I can punch him in the stomach for getting me here. Who set this up? Somebody's here is going to go, look at this. These are not happy campers. Look at the guys in the second row. Like, okay, Trump's going to have somebody's ass for this one. Look at talk about bombing. All right, guys, let's have a conversation, guys. Let's have this conversation. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I want to straighten some things up. I want people to understand something. And this is great. This is why Twitter Spaces are great. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by this clip of this woman making a wholehearted, passionate, empathetic gesture looking for mercy for migrants. I'm going to be clear, guys. We should. There's no reason to have animosity towards people that want a better life. No problem. No reason. I'm not encouraging anyone to attack, degrade, shame anyone who's in this country trying to live a better life, who came to this country under that pretense or under that goal, ambition. Not for a minute. But I want you to understand something. There's a price to pay for this. You don't hear it much. So I'll take it on the chin that people don't understand the immigration argument. They don't understand what I'm saying. They don't understand why I'm even saying it. Let me break it down for you. Three things. Economic impacts. I had a guy today on the Twitter space. He was running his mouth. He worked for the DNC. Why is the guy working for the DNC in the Twitter space? I don't know. But let me give you three impacts economically. One is job competition. Unregulated immigration can lead to job market saturation in industries where Black Americans are already disproportionately represented, such as construction, which I saw happen to my father. He told me about it. He said, this used to be a job. Construction used to be a job brothers could get coming out of jail. Brothers could get without a degree. Brothers could get it, be in it for a couple years and make really good money, take care of their families, and the wife wouldn't even have to work. That was a ticket out of the ghetto. Those jobs are almost entirely given to migrants now, or new arrivals, or because why? Because they work better? No, because they take less pay. Service industry jobs, same thing. Once upon a time, when I was starting out, what did I have? Before I went to community college, got my little piece of paper, service industry jobs. That's how me and Mrs. Black, when we were kids, that's how we made it. Both of us together made enough to get an efficiency at some point. And then a one-bedroom. Now, we had to go to school. We had to take turns going to school. But one of us had to hold down the job full-time, one but part-time, and then we were able to do that. Those jobs now are taken or have been taken over almost exclusively in some areas by new arrivals to the country. Manufacturing, same thing. I never worked in manufacturing. But that's the consensus of what's happening. So those are economic impacts. That's number one, job competition. Not just for Black Americans, also for working class, anybody. Anybody. You got to compete against them. Employers may exploit undocumented migrants or immigrants by offering lower wages, undermining the bargaining power of American workers, particularly in the urban areas. Number two, wage suppression. The ability or the availability of cheap labor can stagnate or cause lower wages, making it harder for working class Black Americans to achieve financial stability. Why pay you $25 an hour if I can pay him $14? Do we gotta go further? Does it take further analysis? Or is that too simplistic for you? CNN head, DNC head, is it too something? Resource allocation. I don't know if you noticed or not, but there are budgets in cities, not federal government. There are budgets in cities and towns and parishes all across the country. Limited resources for education, housing, healthcare can be strained when government allocates funds. Funds to support undocumented immigrants, potentially diverting resources from Black communities already facing systemic neglect. I didn't say the neglect is caused by the immigrants, sir. I said this exasperates it. This makes it worse. You're either for Black people or you're not. You could be for Kumbaya if you want. You could be for everybody if you want to be. I get it. You're a non-Black person. You just think everybody should be happy and all should get along. I'm advocating for the people that are here for 400 years who were enslaved. That's who I'm advocating for. I'm advocating for those people who built the country without getting paid a dime. I'm advocating for the people that went through 100 years of Jim Crow after they got out of jail. I'm advocating for the people who saw immigration open up once they got civil rights. Funny how that happened. There are also social and political consequences to immigration that no one talks about. Political power dilution. When you have another group that comes in and has major numbers, your DNC friend didn't tell you, that dilutes our political power. Now we're up against these people, 14 million, 10, 14, 20. I hear different numbers about the people that just came through the country, which may be a real reason, the true impetus why Trump is so committed to doing something about this. Immigration, that is. Immigration policies that prioritize demographic shifts may dilute the political influence of Black Americans who already face systemic voter suppression and underrepresentation. Once again, I'm not blaming the migrants. I'm not saying they cause it. I'm saying this doesn't help. When I say immigration doesn't help Black Americans, this is what I'm talking about. You think it helps Black Americans? That a whole nother voting group comes in, and now it's Joe Biden. He told you, he said, hey, by 2030, it's going to be majority white. I mean, white's going to be a minority. And the Latinos, the more Latinos than Blacks, y'all going to have to work with them. They don't hear I told you. He said this 3 years ago. He said it out his face on a live stream in front of a bunch of Black people, Black civil rights leaders. He said this. Why are people not hearing? He's not even trying to sneak it past you. Community overload. Yeah, you can have too much of a good thing. Cities with high concentrations of immigrants often see rapid changes in community dynamics, sometimes creating cultural tensions or competition for already scarce resources. Need I go further? What are we competing for? Housing, for one. Housing would be one reason, right? One thing, one resource, right? Longer lines at the DMV, longer everything, more everything. Unless you hire more people and providing more resources, if you have the same amount of resources, there's not a bump in resources, right? But you add more people. Do we really got to figure, does it really take a lot of debate to agree with this? If you got food for 20 and you bring in 40, everybody got to take a haircut. I don't know if you noticed or not, I don't have hair already. You going down to my short and curlies? What you doing? Unequal enforcement of laws. Black Americans face harsher penalties and disproportionate law enforcement compared to undocumented migrants. Cops come at us harder than they do the immigrants. They benefit from sanctuary cities. Ain't no sanctuary cities for black folks. I mean, back in the day, they were called freed states. This disparity fuels frustration and a lack of fairness in the justice system, in an already unjust system. Focus on domestic issues first. Advocates argue that the government should prioritize resolving systemic issues like mass incarceration, housing inequality, and wealth disparities before addressing immigration reform. It's a whole other issue. We got to keep hearing about this. This gets to take front and center of focus when it's sucking all the oxygen out the room. This is bad for us even having this conversation, because think about all the things we're not talking about. Think about all the things that are not getting attention that my sister Pat brought up in that same X space. What about that? What about all the issues that plague communities that we're not even discussing, because we're still discussing this every damn election? Immigration reform. Bush ran on it, Reagan ran on it, Trump ran on it. Everybody get to keep running on it. Can we just tighten it and be done and move on to everything else? Apparently not, because the Democrats want to open the door and bring in 14 million people and then say, did I do that? And if you complain about it, you're a racist. Historical context, legacy of marginalization. Black Americans, as descendants of enslaved Africans, face centuries of systemic oppression. Many feel that policies benefiting immigrant populations overlook the unique reparative justice owed to them. Some of this is emotional. You got a right to be emotional. This country has been abusive to you. I just did the symbolic, or I used the prop of the violin. It was funny, right? But it's sad. That woman seemed very heartfelt and sincere, talking about the plight of the migrant. Don't talk about the plight of the ninja, the blacks. Just saying, it does stick in one's craw. Economic parity. Black Americans are still recovering from the wealth gap created by discriminatory policies like redlining and lack of access to capital. Immigration reform doesn't consider these historical disadvantages can exacerbate any inequities. Yeah. I didn't say they caused it. They weren't in the country. How they gonna cause redlining? How they gonna cause these problems? It just doesn't help. So this is what reform could look like, okay? This is what people wanted me to get to. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this. Other than go by the point by point by point, I want to give you what it looks like. First of all, reform should have balance and policy. It shouldn't be just get everybody out of here. I'll admit, that's not the recipe for success or human. We're not animals. That's not how we treat people. That's not how we should treat people. Balance and policy. Reform that includes enforcement against illegal immigration while creating pathways to citizenship. They got to meet strict labor laws. You can't take less money. You can't undermine us. Employers got to play fair. There's a lot of moving pieces to this. There must be integration requirements for those in the market, those not, those coming to market. I use the analogy of when we went from tape decks or cassette tapes to CDs. You know how long they took to do that? They dragged their feet 30, 40 years on that. They had that technology for 40 years before you saw your first CD on the Waxy Max's shelf. or whatever place who was selling CDs for the first time back in the 90s. Why is that? Because it would have hurt the cassette deck people in the market. Are there any more cassette decks? Black people are cassette decks. We are cassette decks. They are the CD. Get it? Increase investment in marginalized communities. Reform should tie immigration policy to increase investments in housing, education, job programs for American citizens in economically distressed areas. This is the part I wanted to get to in the conversation. It's not just enough to deport people. We got to what? We got to refocus, allocate resources to those areas, because deporting people is only going to leave us where we are. If you want to move people out, Trump, you got to bump us up too. If you want to move us out, Trump, you also have to invest. Don't think you invested just by moving people out. It has to be two-pronged, hell, three-pronged approach. You can't just take people out who are legally here. You got to help allocate resources more in housing, education, and job programs. All the policies I support. Those policies need to be implemented. That's part of the problem. Trump don't go far enough. He just wants to say, these are the people that got to go. These people are in the way. These people are a problem. But what's he replacing it with? Nothing. That doesn't fix it. It's not great without them either. It was bad before they got here. Before those 14 million people got here, how was New York doing? How was Chicago doing? That's the point Ms. Pat was making. And I bow to your wisdom. Fair enforcement. A commitment to equitable enforcement of laws for all groups, ensuring that Black Americans don't disproportionately bear the fruit or the brunt of systemic neglect. We got to do a better job policing. I don't care what law and order cop Trump or law and order president Trump thinks. That's how I feel about that. You don't always get everything you ask for. I don't feel like I'm asking for the world to say, hey, we need better policing. Hey, we need jobs programs. Don't just tell me all people would have done those jobs anyway. You're only looking at the jobs of picking fruit. Anybody will work in a factory. And anybody's have. The Irish worked in factories. What do you think automotive industry is? People working in factories. What do you think? Who do you think processed foods in all these places? The chickens, the crab, all this stuff. I'm a Maryland guy, man. I love crabs. I love blue crabs. He thinks processing those containers of crabs. Who was doing it before those people were doing it? We were. You were, white Americans. We all were. Everybody don't have a degree. Not everybody even wants one. How about that? Like, what they going? If you live in certain parts of the country, what you gonna even do with it? I got a degree in sociology. Go socialize. I need a plumber. I need somebody to put my bumper back on. Can you fix my tractor? I don't need to socialize. I need you to fix. I need somebody that can put up some drywall. I need somebody that can clean this fish we caught on the boat. Yeah, people take those jobs. I don't know this attitude. These are only certain jobs. Only certain people could do them. Who was doing those jobs before? What does a person do? We have more people incarcerated in the United States than any other country in the Western world. Where are they supposed to work when they get out? I know you think all these people are too qualified. I had well-meaning Black people saying shit like, Tim Black, I know you're not advocating for Black people to take these types of jobs. We're supposed to be trying to move up. We supposed to. See, that's a young person, young and dumb. What does a person with 2 felonies do? I mean, I know a lot of them start businesses. You know why they have to start businesses? They can't get a job. They can't get a job. You live in a bubble. You don't live in reality. There are poor people all over this country. There are underclass, working class, all types of people all over this country. They don't want to stay there forever. They want to move up. It's not a lifetime job. But you can work it for a couple of years to get your feet under you. In fact, make your next plan, make your next move. How many jobs have you had? You never worked a job you didn't care too much for, but at the time, it was like everything was right on that job. Please, let me get this job. Please, Lord, I gotta get this. I remember when I caught 3 buses for a job that paid less than $20 an hour. 3 buses. Had to take care of my kids, man. I did that shit with a smile. I was happy to be productive. I was happy to keep us indoors. I didn't do it that long, but I did it long enough to get to the next stop. Shame on you for pretending that all Americans, all of us, haven't been in similar situations. Shame on you for saying only certain people face that struggle. People from another country. Just because you don't do it, just because you got the hookups, just because you went to Harvard, just because you got your degree, because you are my army brat, and you know what I'm saying? You're privileged and you don't even know it. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. The immigration issue is complex. I'll admit it's complex. It ain't as cut and dry as some of my conservative friends want to make it be. It's just not. But let's not act like it's rocket science either. They're pushing it because they like cheaper labor. They're pushing it because those people are going to probably vote Democrat. Obviously. Do you think they're going to vote for when they can get vote? They can get a vote in. Not Trump's ass. I think that's pretty clear. I think we can all agree on that. It's not empathy. It's not empathy for why Biden let in 10 to 20 million people and then said, oh, let's close the valve. Okay. Give it up, Johnson. You ready? Let's keep it moving, Johnson. So, I gotta go to this because what the hell? Mayor Eric Adams is not one of my favorite people. He's just not. I remember when he was running, I was like, God, who's running against him? Please do better. I just didn't like him saying swag. I don't need politicians saying swag. We got to get our swagger back. New York's got a swag. We need to get our swagger back. Like, man, what are you doing? You trying out for Diddy or what? Who needs the man trying to make the band? Make the budget. So I saw a video where that African sister, the African sister from Africa. Anyway, she crucified him on this show. I forget what the show was. Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club brought on Mayor Eric Adams and his sister. She tore his ass up. Oh, God. Maybe what they call CPS. Child Protective Services. You stop beating him like that. His kids can see this. Jesus, lady. I mean, she went up one side, Eric Adams came down the other, went back up on the other side. It's easy to say that he's a not well-liked guy by a lot of the left. Here's the thing, though. Mayor Eric Adams is facing all types of trouble. He has indictments over his head. Yeah, indictments. He went on Tucker Carlson's show to explain why. I don't see many people commenting on this one, though. But let's take a stab at it. Let's listen to what Mayor Eric Adams says originated, or the source of those indictments, why he got them, and the hell that he's been going through.
You complained about allowing tens of thousands, hundreds, because you complained about allowing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegals from, foreign nationals who have no right to be here to come into your city, and you have to pay for it, and you complained. And this indictment was punishment for complaining. Is that what you're saying?
That is clearly my belief, and based on several aspects of it, that I can't go into detail, but there are other aspects of it that shows me that, I was targeted because of that.
So if we could just walk through and leave out the parts you can't talk about, of course, but this happens at the beginning of the Biden administration, which is close to the beginning of your administration. All these foreign nationals start showing up in New York. They have no money, they have no jobs, they have no place to stay, and you have to deal with them. And the taxpayers here have to deal with them. So you go to Washington. What were those meetings like?
Sharing with them that this was a problem.
Who did you speak to?
I spoke with Julie Chavez, is one of the personnel, Perez, another personnel. I spoke with the president himself. I spoke with the president first. Then the president came here to New York City. The governor and I sat down with the president, and I said, Mr. President, I'm not sure what they're telling you about this problem, but this is a terrible problem that's playing out on the ground, that we need to fix our border, and we need to just stop allowing people to come into the country with no destiny. We don't know what we're doing with them. And there was some that were coming here that were almost 6 months to a year, in some cases 2 years, without any work authorization. Like, what do you do with someone that cannot provide for themselves for that long period of time?
Well, what do you do?
We had to house them. We had to feed, clothe, house, educate 40,000 children, hold them into a shelter system, the complete package of what you would do for an adult that can't take care of themselves.
And so you tell the president and his aides this, and what do they say?
Basically, be a good Democrat, Eric.
Be a good Democrat?
That was the basic overall theme. One of his aides told me that, listen, this is like a gallstone. It'll pass.
It's like a gallstone, it'll pass.
Yes. It'll hurt now, but it'll pass.
Well, you pee it out then. Right. Why do you have to?
Well said.
Yeah, well said. We don't just get to support. Now, let me take that back. Don't support. Just because you don't find a person to be like your guy, just because he's not your guy, doesn't mean he ain't got a point. Doesn't mean he's not right, and doesn't mean he doesn't have a point, and doesn't have something to say. Too many times, let's not be like the left. The left, if they don't like it, they don't want to hear what you got to say. Let's not be that way. Okay. Mayor Eric Adams, top cop guy. So I didn't have much to say for him as a person for his prior jobs, but I gotta say, this is stinky. Yeah, I listened to more of this. I listened to more of the conversation. Mayor Eric Adams went to D.C. 9 times asking for money from Biden to help with the cost of these migrants in New York. The 10th time he went, he said by the time he got there and was on his way back, they raided the offices of some of his workers. They hit him with an indictment and started raiding his friends. He said he spent billions on the migrants. The federal government offered them a few millions to help out. The budget was already allocated to where the budget money was going to go. Then he has to go to citizens and say, hey, we can't do that. You know that thing we had planned to do? The thing I promised you I was going to do? The thing I ran on us doing? We can't do it because they had to spend the money on migrants. People were pissed. And they had a right to be pissed. And I'm not saying, hey, look, I'm just telling you what he's saying. I don't know if all of it is exactly this way, but I didn't hear anybody refute it. And all I'm saying is people held him accountable for something he could not control, and the Democrats said, you better take the shot. You take the lumps. You're the scapegoat. You're the fall guy. Eric Adams said, hey, man, it wasn't just me. I wasn't the only man going through this. Chicago mayor, Michigan mayor, they were all going through it. We were working together trying to get some help from the federal government. It's just I was the only one, I was the loudest one. I'm the one that stayed on it. So Brandon Jacobs tried to buck for a minute, and then he got his act right to act right. And now everyone calls him the worst mayor in the history of mayors, and everybody wants his head on a silver platter. He was set up by Biden's administration to take the fall, to deal with the influx, and be okay with it. And it wasn't just that. There were other things covered in the interview as well. Things like he got a bump from one seat to first class. Tucker Carlson's like, I read your indictment. It's BS. Politicians get bumped up in seats all the time. They go from this to that all the time. People get motorcades and all types of security. They get all types of stuff like that all the time. It started sounding a lot like some other people who are being like prosecuted because people didn't like them, because they didn't play ball or they had the wrong politics. I'm just saying. And even if you don't trust all that, right? And you're like really skeptical of it, which I am. I'll admit I was very skeptical of it. Guys, I'm not a Mayor Eric Adams fan. But something hit home with me. This is what they do to their friends. And this guy's a Democrat. He's a lifelong Democrat. In New York. People say the biggest city. I don't know. The epicenter. Right? They hung this guy out to dry. They threw him to the wolves. Mayor Eric Adams says, hey, man, where's the briefcase of money that you're thinking I took? What are you talking about? Somebody bought me dinner or lunch or something? They're not even accusing me of taking money or bribes. They're saying I got a favor, so I could have got a bribe, but there's no money being exchanged. This ain't Clarence Thomas. No one brought him a boat. It just doesn't make sense. Unless you realize how dirty politics is, how dirty the Biden administration is. And all the while, I got to hear people say, even to this day, how great a man Biden is. Remember, guys, part of my mission, my main focus point in my mission is to get Black Americans to stop with the Democrat default position. I'm not saying never vote Democrat again in your life. I would love to say that. But that's too much to say. I'm saying at least you can do is pause and say, what you going to do for us? And you can't bring up Republicans. And part of doing that is realizing how bad they treat even their own people. Yeah, I'm not saying donate to Eric Adams. I'm not saying form Voltron and go save him. Not at all. This guy reinstated stop and frisk. If I'm not mistaken, did he do that? I think he did. I think he's reinstated stop and frisk. He perp walked Luigi Mangione for no reason other than a photo op. Real scumbaggery shit, you know? It doesn't mean Biden didn't do him dirty and make him go back and try to face his people, you know, with all the money siphoned out. He said at one point they were getting 800 people every night unannounced, just showing up. All planes and boats and shit. Going, I'm hungry. I'm sick. I'm cold. I need clothes. What you gonna do for me? Papa, mama. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Once again, this is not the migrants' fault. These people were put in that position by Biden. He put them in a position. He sent them a place they weren't prepared to take people and just surprised them. 800 people showing up. You got 800 people outside. They all need a place to stay. I mean, I got a bunk bed they can stay in. I got a fold-out futon. 2 of them can stay with me, but I don't know what you're going to do with the other 798. That's going to be a hell of a pizza order. That's right. They don't like pizza. Stop trusting Democrats, please. Okay? At least trust them as little as you trust Republicans. Yeah, trust them both. Not. I'm not saying trust Republicans. Trust them about the same amount as you trust Republicans. Can we do that? Can we stop worshiping? Can we stop worshiping, hitting our knees and praising Biden? Stop laying hands on Obama. Can we do that? Can we? That's all I'm trying to get us to do, man. I ain't trying to get us to go to the moon with a bus pass. I'm just trying to get us to stop kissing that Democratic Party ring. We the voters. We should be wearing the ring. They should be kissing it. All right, next story. Emmett Johnson. Can I get a like, please? We're trying to get to 400 likes. Can we do 400? I need to modify this. You know, because I don't know if I can do it now, but I need to modify this list. Yeah, I can do it. Let's go to 400. Because I think we've done 3. We gotta open. So we got a 4. Here we go. Hit the like, give us 400 likes. That would be great. That helps us in the algorithm. It's not for bragging rights. It's so the algorithm knows that the Tim Black Show is a worthwhile use of time. And maybe they'll send it to some other people and let them know about the show. That's the way you grow. When you don't have a marketing budget to speak of, you need the algorithm to work in your favor. Next story, guys. Gotta cover this one. It's fun. I'm not sure black people will care about it, but I gotta cover it. Black America, do you care about Elon Musk and the Nazi salute? Be honest. Oh, you didn't know about the Nazi salute? Well, look, a funny thing happened when Elon Musk was speaking at Trump's inauguration event. It went like this. Okay, there's no sound, Tim. How did I get the clip with no sound? Okay. Oh, you bastard. Let's do this. Let's put him on the screen here. Oops, not me. Him. And I'll go get that clip. Could you hear that clip? Because I could hear it when I got over there. That's kind of strange because I could hear it play.
We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities. Secure.
I cut my sound down. No one. I screwed up, guys. I'm sorry. You can hear it. Had some loud music on that thing. Hold on a second. Yes! See, these are the things that Elon did that I thought something's wrong with this guy. You know, this is not the way. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to act this way.
Yes! This is what victory feels like. Yeah! And this was no ordinary victory. This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. This you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
What do you think? Be honest, what do you think? You think that's a Nazi salute? Or is that just a guy not wrapped too tight? Was that a guy trying to be a smartass?
This one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you.
He said, my heart goes out to you. Is that camouflage for what he did? Or is that what he was trying to say? My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. Or is it trying to cover up what he was doing? Ebony says all of the above. Papa says he has autism. I think he's a bit awkward. That's what I thought. I thought, hey, the guy's a bit awkward. I believe him. The salute part. Twerpy all day. Queen's wave. It was, and he did it correctly, says Malcolm X. It's all good. You only donated $250 million. They shouldn't have given you any seats. Here's what it's called now, an intellectual disability. We used to call it the R word.
That the future of civilization is assured. Thanks to you. We're going to have safe cities, finally, safe cities. Secure borders, sensible spending, basic stuff. And we're going to take Doge to Mars.
There are people watching this that don't see that this guy's a little half-baked. I'm just saying, he seems a little baked to me. All right. Somebody who did not agree with me, someone who thinks that Elon Musk is the devil, is AOC. Here goes AOC's complaint.
This is the United States of America. And I don't care what Elon Musk is doing behind a presidential seal. In this country, we hate Nazis. Kind of like a foundational defining thing Two of probably the most foundational defining things about American history is that we beat the Confederates and we beat the Nazis. And I don't know what side people may be on today, but I still am not rocking with anyone sympathetic to Nazis.
Okay. All right. We know where she stands, right? She stands in a place where she is not sympathetic to anybody who's sympathetic with Nazis or rocks with that, or Confederates. She slid in the Confederates. Interesting. So that's what she said. Okay. This is what the ADL says.
Assert these things.
The ADL says this. Someone asked, what did the ADL say? The ADL said, this is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are so on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm. Not a Nazi salute, but again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace. Perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and working towards unity in the months and years ahead. 32 million views. So I've got that from the ADL. I got AOC. And then a friend of my show, my brother Mike from Active 5 Press, sent this. He said, Tim, check this out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look very similar. I mean, even time the same.
Thank you.
The thing about it for me was he didn't keep his arm up. And whenever I saw that done, people held their arm up for several seconds, if not longer. Doubt waning, but still a little doubtful that he meant something else. Then I saw this clip because I was looking for reactions to it.
Jump right into it. Elon Musk rips those who accused him of giving the Nazi salute and says they need better dirty tricks. I don't know. The whole room is split. I think that was a wild out my heart goes on Celine Dion gesture, or he's trolling the shit out of us.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
I hate to analyze.
Little hit, Laren. Listen, I think he's trolling.
Yes,
I do.
so do
He's
I.
having fun fucking with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Adam Carolla has a relationship with Joe Rogan. And I don't know, maybe Adam Carolla's on something. Maybe he meant to do it to mess with people, to get publicity, to get a news cycle.
These fucking guys are so funny. It's kind of like, when you get stoned and you try to put a hat on your dog or something. The dog starts to moving his head weird, and you just start laughing. I think that's kind of what it's come to now. I think he's now trolling.
He went.
Adam Carolla says he's trolling. I would not usually consult Adam Carolla, but I felt this time maybe it was worth it because he's got a connection to some people that have a connection to Elon Musk. I don't know. Then I thought about it. And I decided I didn't give a damn. Yeah, folks, I decided I didn't give a damn if he meant it or not. You know what I'm saying? Look, here's the thing, guys. The ADL never gave black people the benefit of the doubt, whether they be Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, or Nick Cannon. Never gave them pause or grace. Always gave them one ultimatum. Apologize or lose everything you have. Then I said, well, but then again, Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet, literally. Then I remembered Elon threatened to sue the ADL the last time they accused him of anti-Semitism. Maybe they don't want that smoke. Maybe even the ADL has a ceiling they don't want to mess with, a button they don't want to push, a purse string they don't want, on their necks. I don't know. But I do know this, man. It's white on white crime. Yeah, this is white on white crime, Johnson. And I sort of like January 6th. A lot of people very upset about January 6th. These guys got out. They got out. I'm like, yeah. They wouldn't have done that to black people. There was a few black people that got locked up. But I get you. I get your point. I get it. At the end of the day, though, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe you got a point. Maybe January 6th should be in jail. And maybe Elon Musk just threw a Nazi salute. But guess what? If the people that are supposed to be offended ain't offended, why am I sitting around being offended? Now, I understand that when you work for the Democratic Party, you got to be offended about stuff that the people that were intended for, if that's true, weren't offended by because, well, you try and score political points. I ain't trying to score political points. I'm not working for a party. I think I said in the beginning of this show, I'm working for Black America. So I'm working for Black America. How am I working for Black America if I'm policing what Elon Musk does when he may have offended Jewish people who ain't offended? How does that help us? What am I standing 10 toes down on? Nothing. Now look, hey, it's fine. If you got nothing else to do, you want to try to figure out, you never really know. And the people that are supposed to be upset, if it's true, just gave an official pass. The hypocrisy sucks. It does. But other than that, it's just the Democrats call everybody racist. They've been calling Trump Hitler for 4 years. And then it's Elon Musk, who was a Democrat 5 years ago. Yeah, he was a Democrat 5 years ago. They call everyone racist. They called Hitler Trump for 4 years, or Trump Hitler. And then Elon Musk, the former Democrat. Yeah, man, you can't make this shit up, man. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'm not covering the January 6th thing right now. Maybe I'll get to it. I don't think most Black Americans really give a damn about it. I mean, oh no, we got a warped justice system. Surprise, surprise. Who didn't know that shit? Hey, who's shocked that our justice system favors the well-connected? And they're connected all the way to the top of the country. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. I guess some people need refreshers. This is America, and it has mass incarceration, lots of racism, lots of discrimination, lots of illegal dumping, human trafficking, drugs, people getting shot in the ass, a horrible justice system, an uneven, corrupt-ass healthcare system, a shitty education system that's for profit. Matter of fact, everything I mentioned is for profit, from the prisons to the healthcare to the education. What could go wrong? But I guess people need to get refresher courses. They need to remember these things. Like I say, deporting people ain't gonna change all that shit I just pointed out. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean you don't do it though. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, my verdict, it ain't out, it ain't in. I'm just gonna call this no prosecute, meaning no prosecution. You're free on your own recognizance. Free to do what you do, Elon Musk. Because if the ADL guy ain't tripping, neither are the blacks. I mean, unless you're Van Jones or Simone Sanders or Joy Reid or Whoopi Goldberg or Roland Martin. None of those assholes roll for Kyrie Irving. But they'll ride against Elon, but they won't ride for Kyrie Irving. All right. And all he did was tweet out a link to a movie. He didn't say shit. All right. Let's go to the next one, guys. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. My people, my people, my people. My last thing is controversial. Uh-oh. I'm really getting in trouble now. I don't care, fam. Bring your slings and arrows. I guess I can't bring it in without showing you. Let me set it up, guys. My last story for tonight will be a topic that has been very controversial. Well, hell, that's what we cover here. Remember, the Tim Black Show is the show with the raw truth Black America deserves. I'm trying to get Black America out of the burning house called the Democratic Party. Out of the Democratic Party, the burning house called the Democratic Party. I like that. That's a good tagline, Mrs. Black. The Tim Black Show. With raw truth, the Tim Black Show. With the raw truth Black America deserves. Damn it. Watch the Tim Black Show. With the raw truth Black America deserves. As I try to get the Black Americans, as I try to get Black America out of the burning house called the Democratic Party. Stay tuned. All right. All right, let's go to the last story. My last story is controversial because it discusses a topic that has people ticked off with one of the executive orders that Donald Trump recently did sign. By the way, guys, before I say this one that he did sign, Donald Trump did not sign an executive order about single moms or child support. He did sign a child support executive order, okay? I looked this up. I was like, I kept hearing people talk about it. I was like, interesting executive order. Then I look it up further. That shit been debunked. Yeah, right. No, he ain't signed no executive order about child support if the mother gets child support on the dad, he get to file on the taxes. Who started this rumor? That shit stuck. I saw a video. I saw like 10 videos on it. All the single dads going, please, man. Taxes, man. Please, man, go get your taxes. I saw some rims. So yeah, man. It's not real. I'm sorry. I saw Eddie Griffin did a segment like, you also need to make sure, what do you say? God damn it. You need to make sure brothers don't have to die. I forget what he said. Eddie Griffin said something that was funny. Not only do you have to, something. What did Eddie Griffin say, y'all? Eddie Griffin said something like, we need to, yeah. And actually what Eddie said was even better. I liked his idea better. He said, bump that. Paternity test, automatic. DNA, automatic. That's what he said. He said, yeah. So Yeah, that's how you be cooking them, Trump. Yeah, man. Eddie's funny, man. Eddie's funny. Okay, so now this is a real executive order that he did sign. I got proof because in this video he's signing it, and that is an executive order to end birthright citizenship.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the court? That one is likely to be passed.
Could be. I think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
Okay, so this executive order is intended to stop, to apply to migrants who come to the country and have a baby and who are not citizens of the United States, have a baby, and the baby automatically being considered an American citizen because they had the baby on American soil. So he wants to, he did an executive order on this. I saw already that it's being challenged. Who's that guy? Who's that Minnesota Attorney General? I think his name is Keith. Who's the Keith guy? You know the guy? Keith. Okay, so the same guy who tried the George Floyd case. I can't get to it, damn it. No, not Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann is not an attorney general. The attorney general out of Minnesota. And it doesn't matter. Anyway, he said he's going to challenge it in court. He's already filed the paperwork. He wants to challenge it. He said that the executive order violates the Constitution, the 14th Amendment, which gave birthright citizenship, made it a thing. It was created back after the slaves were released. That made us citizens. So, you know, we get to be citizens. Shit, everybody should. Here goes, this is bad. So here goes Vivek. Vivek's going to explain.
I say this as the kid of legal immigrants to this country. Here's what we need to do to fix it. Day one, move our military, not to protect somebody else's border halfway around the world. Use our military to protect our own border in the United States of America, and I will not apologize for that. If you're in this country illegally, the one answer is you will be returned to your country of origin, period. Because that's what it means to stand for the rule of law in the United States of America. Stop sending your taxpayer money to fund Central American countries until they've built a border wall on each of their own countries to stop the flow of migrants from Venezuela to the southern border of Texas. That's how we stop aquatic barriers in the Rio Grande. Stop funding sanctuary cities to pay for breaking. We need to do in this country once and for all. End birthright citizenship for the kids of illegals. It does not apply to them. These aren't black ideas or white ideas. These aren't even really, they shouldn't be Democrat ideas or Republican ideas. These are American ideals that our founding fathers fought for 250 years ago. And if they could sacrifice their honor.
Jesus Christ. I went into this thinking, hey, it's a good idea to end birthright citizenship because, you know, people shouldn't just be able to go, I made it. You're American there. But the fact that we'll be agreeing with Vivek Ramaswamy gives me pause. Yeah, man. You got to worry about the company you keep. Look, I get it. I get it. I do get it now. I get it. Donald Trump says there's no country in the world that does this except for America. There's no other place you can go where you didn't enter legally. Have a baby on that, have the baby there, and that baby becomes a citizen of that country automatically. There's no other place on earth that does this. What's still hilarious to me is there are people that think we did it for fun. You know, like we're so empathetic, that's why we did it. No, we like exploiting people. That's why they had to do it, because they had, I don't know, millions of black people who built the country for free and said, how can we make you citizens? Because before then, you weren't a person. I mean, you were 3/5 a person. I mean, we were 3/5 a person. You know, or cattle, chattel, property, like a chair, a shovel, a wagon, with no rights whatsoever. So anyway, that's just that's a little something. So yeah, I get it. But here's the thing I think is going to have to happen. You're going to have to go through the Supreme Court in order to get this changed. Yeah, because if the reason why they're able to become citizens, children born here are able to become citizens, or automatically are citizens, is because of the Constitution, you would have to make an amendment to the Constitution to modify that, right? So I think this executive order is going to get overturned. I get why people want it changed, and I get why people don't want it changed. I read a comment, one of the persons in my comment section said, my parents took 20 years to become American citizens. It's not fair that other people get to become American citizens just by showing up. A lot of people don't see it that way, but so I just want you to know I do get mail and correspondence and notes and DMs and comments from people that say it all over the spectrum. It's not just people complaining, Tim Black, you don't care about nobody. Burn in hell, Tim Black. Some people are like, you don't go hard enough. Can't please everybody, Johnson. Can't please everybody. Well, let me know in the comment section what you think. Birthright citizenship, should that still be a thing? I think you're going far enough where you're at. If you could just say, hey, go through the proper channels, become a citizen, go through the process, fix the process, but also we need to see money put into our cities, put into those states, put into education, housing, in order to increase in job programs. Education, housing, job programs. Education, housing, job programs. Education, housing, job programs. That's what Trump should be investing in. Is he investing in it? That's the problem. That's what's up. That's what's up. And then you had Biden. I don't know. I know Kamala was talking about housing, but as far as the border, as far as immigration, she wanted to continue things the way that Biden had them. I don't get it. Let me know what you think, guys. That's all I got. Thank you for tuning into the Tim Black Show. I want to thank everybody who ordered a mug recently. I'm going to get those out hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have those out, okay? So thank you for your patience. I try to pick a day a week to do them all, and it looks like Thursday will be that day. Just because I got so much going on. Plus, I had doctors today, so I got tired of it. I would have done it today, but I had doctors. So anyway, it's a good cause. A little bit longevity. Trying to increase my longevity. I got number love for you guys. Let's go to comments. Who is in the house, man? Who showed up tonight? Megs showed up tonight. Thank you, Megs. I appreciate you. You're a gracious soul. Generous soul, Megs. Black Mamba's in the house. Thank you, Black Mamba. I appreciate you. The Revelator. The look on J.D. Vance's face says it all. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? One last gasp from the Democrats, even in church. That's cold-blooded, man. Like somebody trying to sell you something. It's your daughter's wedding. Somebody come get. Wait for Sandman to come push her off the stage. Sandman come out and dance her right off stage. Revelator. Sorry, chick, not sorry, but they all gotta go. Yeah. You know, but they can come back. They can come back. Baby, come back. You can play the fool for me. I was wrong, and I just couldn't live without you. Baby, come back. Listen, baby. You can blame it all on me. And I just can't live. All right, that's it. My brother collected records when I was a kid. We had a big record collection. That record collection would be worth money now if we still had that. Remember the Bootsy Collins album we had? They had the glasses. You had to cut them out the album cover. Anybody know what I'm talking about? The Bootsy Collins glasses? Freak. Remember that song, Freak? Freak out. Freak the freak. Let's see. Boogie Wonderland. Can't get under it. So low. You can't get under it. I know, man. I don't know why I'm tripping. Tim, this has nothing to do with politics. It's the end of the show, Johnson. My name is Tim Black. Look, guys, anybody got anything for me? Anybody got anything to say? Talk to me, y'all. Who's got comments for me? Hit me up. Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby. Yes. Who said Earth, Wind, and Fire? Give it up for that. Can't live if living is without you. Oh, that's the words, huh? Sharon Brown corrected me. Thank you, Sharon. Michael, yes. Candy Rain, peace and love. Candy Rain. Oh, my God. You're so sweet. You're a special treat. Captain Greta. All I want to say, I need your love. Did he take the glasses out? Tobias, what's up? My favorite was called Working at the Car Wash. The car wash. They was playing them horns, weren't they? Hey, man. Yes. Bootsy, baby mama. We've been talking with you all night. You know it. No different song. Different song. Right, okay. It's all good. Cameo the greatest. What's up? Chris, Michael. What's up, Michael? 2025 is going to be an interesting year. Yes, it is, Michael. What's up, Robert? What's up, Cat Negrita? What's up, PMPTCN? War. Yeah. What is it good for? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? There it is. Man, my people got great taste, man. Support the channel, order a mug. Go to timblackmug.com. Willie Hits, tell me why have you loved turn cold? Oh, man. What? Party like it's 1999, man. I'll tell you, man, I got great people. I got great support system in y'all, man. Tim Black Wolfpack, you guys are amazing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping a brother company on this crazy night. I got to put the content out. I like doing the shows live, and it's been a blast, man. Shout out to Buck Bewley, Black Mamba, all the VIPs, everybody that supported the show tonight, everybody keeps the lights on. If you can't hit like, share it with a friend. Tell somebody about the Tim Black Show. It's the raw truth Black America deserves. And We're going to do our best to get Black America out of the burning house called the Democratic Party. I'll see you on the next one, y'all. And like I always say, where are my girls?
Now, there you go. I can't wait.